Namaste. I am Dr. Anita Shrikant, Professor OBGY, Vishwabharati Medical College, Penchukalpada. Today is World IVF Day, 25th of July. Why World IVF Day is celebrated? It is celebrated every year on 25th of July because today is the day when the first IVF baby named Louis Brown was born in UK. In India, the first IVF baby named Durga was born on 3rd October 1978 due to the efforts of Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay. In USA, first IVF baby was born in the year 1981. Why it is celebrated? Basically to commemorate the remarkable advancements and achievements in the field of IVF. It helps us increase awareness regarding infertility, reduces embarrassment faced by the couples, and it also helps the couples to seek the medical help, and it also helps us to honor the medical professionals in this field. Is the incidence of infertility increasing in India? 1 in every 8 couples is suffering from infertility. Infertility incidence is 10 to 15%. 25 to 35 million couples are suffering from infertility, but surprisingly, less than 1% seek the medical help. The management of infertility has evolved so much. There are so many technological advancements in it that from single-digit success rates, the success rate of IVF has become almost 40 to 50%. So no couple should lose hope and everyone should seek treatment for the same. Now, what is the cause of infertility? The male factor is 30%, the female factor is 30 to 40%. Both combined is about 10 to 20% and unexplained is 10%. What is infertility? Infertility is when the couple fails to conceive after 1 year of unprotected intercourse. But if the woman's age is less than 35 years, she has to seek help after 6 months. If the woman's age is more than 40 years, she can try for only 2 to 3 cycles. Are the infertility rates increasing? Yes, they are increasing in both the males and the females, mainly because of the lifestyle factors, like increasing the childbearing age because of education and career. Also, use of fast food, obesity is on the rise. Increased screen time, use of laptops causes radiation and thermal damage. Also, smoking, alcohol, it takes a toll on the fertility status of the individual. Presence of medical disorders like diabetes and hypertension in the case of males causes infertility. Then in the gym, use of supplements containing steroids causes a reduction in the testosterone level. It reduces the libido and reduces the sperm count. What is needed for normal pregnancy? It is in the case of females, normal ovulation, open fallopian tubes, and the normal uterus. And in the case of males, normal semen parameters. What are the main causes of female infertility? They are the ovulatory disorders, around 30 to 40%, tubal factors, that is about 20 to 30%, uterine factors, 10 to 15%, and cervical factors, about 5%. What are the causes of male infertility? They can be pretesticular, testicular, and post-testicular causes. Pretesticular are the genetic disorders like Klinefelter syndrome, Y chromosome microdeletion. Then endocrine disorders like hypothyroidism and hyperprolactinemia, diabetes and hypertension. Then gonadotropin deficiency. And testicular causes are infection in the form of mumps or orchitis. Then varicocele. Then exposure to toxins like heavy metals, radiation, thermal damage. Then primary testicular failure or Sertoli cell only syndrome. What are the post-testicular causes? The one which causes obstruction to the vas deferens. They can be either congenital or acquired. Congenital in the form of congenital absence of vas deferens. Acquired because of infections. Also, one of the main causes of male infertility is erectile dysfunction and ejaculatory disorders. Also, the presence of addictions like smoking and alcohol leads to infertility. How do we investigate the infertile couple? In the case of females, CBP, blood group Rh typing, FBS, PPBS and HbA1c, VDRL for syphilis, and viral screening for HIV, HBsAg and HCV. So these are the routine tests which we do in the case of male patients also. Specific investigation in case of females include thyroid profile, then prolactin levels, then ultrasonography to look at the uterus, the ovaries, to look at the pelvis. Then we do the AMH levels and the AFC levels. Now what is AMH? AMH is secreted by the preantral follicles. It tells us about the oocyte number. The normal level is 1.5 to 3.5 nanograms per ml. So does it tell that the patient will not get pregnant if the patient has got low AMH? No, AMH only indicates the oocyte number but does not tell us about the quality of the oocytes. And we need only one mature oocyte for fertilization to happen. So if there is low AMH, don't lose hope. Just seek the help of the doctor. Then what about AFC? AFC is the antral follicle count. It is done on day 2 or day 3 of the periods. It is done by transvaginal ultrasound. It counts the number of follicles present for ovulation induction. So normal AFC is 5 to 15. So if it is less than 5, it is low AFC, and if it is more than 20, it indicates polycystic ovarian syndrome, wherein the ovaries can get hyperstimulated when you give the ovulation induction agents. Now, how do we test for the tubes? Whether the tubes are patent or not, we do some tests like HSG or sonosalpingogram. In HSG, we call the patient on day 9 or day 10 of periods. We instill the dye into the uterus and check for patency of the tubes and also the uterine cavity. Entire pelvis can be assessed through the use of laparoscopy, and hysteroscopy we use to assess the uterus and the cornua. Coming to male fertility, the specific investigations includes the thyroid profile, prolactin levels, the serum testosterone levels, and also important is the semen analysis. What are the normal semen parameters? Semen parameters include the volume, which is about 1.5 to 4 ml, the pH, that is 7.2, fructose has to be present, the count has to be 35 to 39 millions, the sperm count per ml has to be 16 million per ml, the total motility has to be 42%, rapidly progressive motile sperms are 30% and normal forms are 4%. So this is the normal semen analysis with no round cells present. What are the treatment options we have for infertile couples? First and foremost is lifestyle modification. We advise exercise either in the form of aerobics, yoga, or simple walking for 30 minutes per day for 5 days a week. Then reducing the stress levels. Then take care of the diet, reduce the fast food, then weight reduction, then reduced use of the screen time, that is use of laptops or use of mobile phones has to be reduced. Then sleep for about 8 hours in the night and avoid use of cell phones because the blue light emitted from the cell phones causes decrease of the melatonin levels, which affects the fertility. Then what are the medical options we have? For patients, we start with simple ovulation induction. We give aromatase inhibitors like letrozole or clomiphene and advise them timed intercourse after doing the follicular tracking. So we call the patient again on day 10 or day 11 after starting ovulation induction, and when the follicle size reaches 18 to 20 mm, ovulation trigger is given with HCG. Then timed intercourse is advised after 36 hours of the HCG trigger for every alternate day for about 4 to 5 days. Then if this fails, another option is intrauterine insemination. If that also fails, the patient can go for in vitro fertilization. Second line of management is IUI, that is intrauterine insemination. In this also we give ovulation induction agents, trigger is given, and once after 36 hours of the trigger we check for ovulation, and the same day when the follicle ruptures, semen is processed and 0.3 to 0.5 ml of the semen is injected into the uterus, and then progesterone support is given and patient is called after 14 days to check for pregnancy. So if this fails, then patient can go for IVF after about 6 cycles. So what is the success rate of IUI? It's about 10 to 15%. Prerequisite is the patient should have the patent fallopian tubes and normal semen parameters, that is at least 5 to 15 million sperms per ml are needed. Total motile sperm count has to be 5 to 15 million. So less than 5 million total motile sperm count, it is preferable that the patient goes for IVF, as the success rate with IUI will be very less. Is IUI painful? No, IUI is not a painful procedure. What are the indications for IUI? Indications are subtle male factor infertility, in mild endometriosis, the patients who have failed ovulation induction and timed intercourse, and patients who go for donor IUI are the patients who are eligible for IUI. On the occasion of World IVF Day, I would like to say that none of the infertile couples should lose hope of parenthood. There are so many technological advancements in infertility, they can readily seek help of the infertility specialist. You please come to us for consultation. We will definitely try to help you. It can range from simple investigations, and accordingly, the appropriate management will be given. Thank you.